How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Bitcoin and crypto are never going to be the same after the last year. I want to talk to you about a couple different big events that have happened that have changed crypto forever. And even though we're at some of the same prices we were at a year ago, some people are even down on their crypto from a year ago. We have to remember that things have progressed a lot, right? The fundamentals are getting a lot stronger. It's just that there's not that kind of mania phase that we saw last year. So I want to walk you through a couple big events and what they changed about the crypto market in general. If you guys don't mind hitting the like button and subscribe button, I appreciate that. I'm going to keep this video nice and short for you here today. I also want to talk to you real quickly about Unstoppable Domains. So I use them. They are a partner of the channel, and there you can get a readable wallet address. They're coming out with something new on Monday, which is the humanity check. This is going to be really helpful for a lot of different people. What you can do is you can use this humanity check feature, and it's going to provide a way for applications to verify personal information for their users and attach that information to unstoppable domains. So instead of having to take your driver's license and take a picture of it and then also take pictures of your face to verify yourself in different investing apps and different things in, let's say, DeFi, which I've had to do that several times, even just to try out new platforms to buy cryptos, you can instead use this unstoppable domain humanity check, and then you only have to put your information in once to unstoppable domains, and then you can use that check to get into certain websites. For example, you can look at like Cook Finance here. You can sign in and you can connect your unstoppable domain wallet. So this is coming to a bunch of different websites. They're working with a lot of different platforms, and this is going to be really helpful just so you don't have to spread your personal information to as many places. Now, there is a link underneath the video to try it out today if you want to check out Unstoppable Domains. So this is not going to be in order, but I think one big thing that's happened over the last year, and you have to remember, there's still going to be a ton of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. There's going to be a lot of misinformation or a lot of not complete information, a lot of drastic information, because these different websites, these different news outlets have to get your attention, right? CNBC, Al Jazeera, CoinDesk, they're all talking about how Russians are looking to unload billions of dollars of crypto, right? There's always going to be new pieces of FUD that come out, and you have to realize that that's just part of the game, right? There's going to be good news, there's going to be bad news, but what you want to do is continue to invest for the long term and don't get discouraged, because some things like this, we just don't even see coming. KPMG Canada follows Bitcoin buy with purchase of World of Women NFT. So when the large four accounting firms, some of the accountants that work with some of the largest companies in the world, they are buying crypto and NFTs this year. Just over the last couple months, they started to buy crypto and NFTs. Part of this is because they think that this is a strong asset to have on your balance sheet. And part of this is because they want to spread this and help other people do the same. Obviously, there's a lot of interest from clients if they're looking at doing this. So we have MicroStrategy that bought crypto last year. We have KPMG that's buying crypto this year. And both of those companies are helping spread the word of how to do it via their own services, right? Whether it's MicroStrategy with their Investor Day presentations where they show how you can add Bitcoin to your balance sheet, or KPMG that's literally doing the accounting information or tax documentation for a lot of these companies. So I think this was a huge step forward and something that a lot of us didn't expect to happen. I mean, this is a huge stamp of approval from one of the stuffiest kinds of companies out there, an accounting firm. Imagine you go to your accountant and they're like, hey, do you want me to show you how to buy Bitcoin? And this is, I think, even a bigger deal than that, right? A lot of companies will eventually start adding some kind of position to crypto, and a lot of private companies already have because they don't have to answer to shareholders and they don't have all these weird accounting rules here in the US. But this is a huge game-changing moment. We also have the expiration of the fact that the government was talking about inflation being transitory. So we kept on saying inflation's transitory, inflation's transitory, inflation's transitory, as we're pumping trillions of dollars into the world and into the US ecosystem. So we kept on pumping more and more money into circulation, and we thought this wouldn't catch up to us. But now we're seeing 8% inflation. So even though Bitcoin is volatile in price, it goes up and to the right over time, right? It just follows a couple different bands and it just stays in there, but it does go up over time. And part of that's because the inflation rate is really low. This is the inflation rate right now, about 1.7%. In 2 years and a couple months, it's going to cut down in half. And then a couple years later, 40 years later, it's going to cut in half again. And the important thing about this is it's predictable. Everyone knows exactly where it's going to be in the future, down to the hundredth of a Bitcoin, where we'll be. So that's the amazing thing, is that we don't have this uncertainty like we have right now in the US, where we're inflating 8% away. You know exactly what's going to happen in the future. And I think a lot of people want to have that certainty. Part of that is because we've seen certain countries, very close countries here to the US, literally freezing bank accounts, saying that they're not going to go through the courts because this is an emergency too. So not only do you not know how much they're going to print, you also don't know what they're going to do with your money, right? It's not actually yours if it's in the banking system. And that's what we've learned recently. We also have literal nations that are taking donations in cryptocurrency, when there's really no other way, or it's very difficult to get money into the government or into the citizens. People are sending crypto. And this is literally a country. Now, we also have El Salvador, which I didn't even put in this, but El Salvador making Bitcoin legal tender when they actually use the US dollar, right? It's not like there's some 50% inflation currency or 100%. They use the US dollar and they still would rather have Bitcoin added. We also have Bitcoin bonds coming maybe as soon as this week. So $500 million worth of buying of Bitcoin from El Salvador. So we've had all these crazy things happen. And sure, the price has been back and forth, right? There's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of institutional money. There's a lot of leverage money. But as time goes on, if you dollar cost average, you most likely will come out ahead, and a good amount ahead, right? Everyone that was buying in 2017, if they bought before the top and then they bought and bought and bought, it probably felt terrible, right? To go from $17,000, $18,000 per Bitcoin all the way down to $3,000. And you just feel like maybe after it goes down 50%, that's done, right? At 8,000 or 9,000, and then it falls 60% more, 70% more. But right now, they are looking like great investors. I mean, 4 years later, even if they bought the top, they'd still be up over 100%. If they averaged down and they were buying around 3,000, think about how much Bitcoin you could get with your normal deposits if you had a $3,000 Bitcoin price, right? Maybe you put in $200 and you buy almost a tenth of a Bitcoin. Maybe you put in a couple $1,000s every time. You could buy almost a full Bitcoin, right? These people are up 10x, 12x on their Bitcoin that they bought just a few years ago. So if we get up to a $100,000 Bitcoin, $200,000 Bitcoin, people will feel the exact same way about you investing here around 30 to 40,000. Now, of course, anything can happen from here, right? We could see another 50% drawdown. We could see another 70% drawdown. I don't think 70% is very likely. I don't think 50% is very likely because I think there are too many buyers. But we could see more volatility. But as time goes on, these kinds of huge news events continue to happen. And that just makes the bottom price of Bitcoin just inch up and inch up and inch up and make it less and less likely that we hit some of those lows that we've had before. As time goes on, the bands get higher and higher and the price range just continuously moves up. So even if we're at the same price, the likelihood of us falling further is less and less. So let me know your thoughts about all this underneath the video. A lot of it does tie back to other cryptocurrencies too. We don't know what's going to be in these different positions 5 years from now, but there will definitely be an overall rising of all these different prices, right? Of the rest of the cryptocurrency market cap if Bitcoin continues to go up. And it looks like that's very likely to happen over the coming years. Let me know your thoughts underneath the video. Again, check out Unstoppable Domains. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.